That's correct.
Okay, yeah, completely forgot about that point, and especially since RSG themselves do have an Esmeralda, and in order for Slate right now, right, their damage when it comes down to securing objectives such as the Lord may not necessarily be very high, because looking at Claude, yes, he will have a couple of true damage when it comes down to the Demon Hunter Sword, but you can't burst it down fast enough. In order for you to win in the later stages of the game, which is definitely something that a Uranus as well as a Claude excels in, you need someone that is able to burst down the Lord as fast as possible, and that is an absolute bonus, so that if RSG were to be out of position or if their jungler is nowhere to be seen, the Lunox comes in extremely handy, being able to lock down the Lord and just burst it down almost instantaneously.
And I mean, you have a free disengage too. I mean, you have to get out of your free card with the power of the light, but instead RSG, they're gonna pick the Julian for themselves. So
a jungle Julian,
yeah,
okay.
It's possibly a jungle Julian. Cho on the roam, Esmeralda on the EXP, and then we have the Valentina on the mid lane, leaving the marksman open. So Slate, they're in a very tough position right now. They're stuck between a rock and a very hard place.
This could be a risky thing to do, but I don't really know how comfortable babycakes will be when it comes down to playing magical base hero. But another part of me just be like, you know what, it might not be the greatest idea, considering the fact that there's already 3 magical damage dealers all across the board for RSG. Well, what I can go for is go for Clint
or carry. Go for the carry. You shred it, shred JPL, or you shred the Uranus or the Archive all the way down. Now, take a look at from the side of Slate. That is JPL going on top of the Ruby. Seilah on the Farsa, and like I said, now RSG has to make a choice. Do you take the I'm Offended? Do you take the Feather Airstrike, or do you take that Beyblade?
Honestly, versatile. It depends on the situation, but honestly, I think it would Valentina would definitely take the Feathered Airstrike, giving them a little bit more extra range. As you look on the side of RSG, it's all very in-your-face kind of fighting. You have Julian, Valentina, Esmeralda, and the Cho. It's all very in-your-face, nice and comfortable. You know, just right up in your face, just standing to you and looking at you right in the eye.
I've been waiting for too long.
Okay,
yeah, the carry.
There we go. JAYZ, this is what you are asking for, to see a carry being picked up by the side of RSG as G. And that will be the case.
Yep, GG to RSG also. Looking at both drafts right here coming out, both sides. Look at the crowd, they're going crazy. They were waving the banners, waving the flags, showing the posters. Enthusiasm today is off the charts, man.
Gonna be looking forward to this game between these two. Now, the draft definitely looks a lot more interesting, and of course, both of these teams will stand a very fair chance. This is skill-based game, but we of course will have more time to break down these compositions as to who does what and what are they supposed to do here.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I think both of these two teams dropped the one they needed. Something that I would have to say about the side of Slate is they're giving too many big ultimates on the side of Valentina, making her very flexible. But ladies and gentlemen, on to game number 2 we go. It is Slate in the blue and RSG in the red.
Right off the bat, the junglers, they are in their own average rotation, nothing too flashy and of course not too far. But one thing you gotta take a look at is the fact that Julian clears jungles really slowly. But for some reason here, Julian is actually moving faster than our guy.
Yeah, but that could be the fact that RSG has to babysit Julian just a little bit, do some damage to the purple buff, and move on. Don't forget, RSG should have a power spike at level 3 for that Julian, but the nerf on the Julian in the early game may cost them. That's why, you know, most of the Julians has been going on the Molten Core first item. Now, Slate, something that is quite interesting for the side of me is that they are not hard invading that Julian, probably because RSG was expecting that.
So no matter what they do from the side of RSG, they would have eyes on the enemies. The main thing, and of course the difficult thing about playing a Julian into the jungle is that you should be expecting the opponents to come in and raid you, invade you, because anything that's below level 3, you can't do anything as Julian. You can throw a single science, and you're just gonna have to wait for the next, what, 10 seconds before you'll be able to do something? So it is definitely tough. But in this case, RSG's Bray, he did manage to put his Julian at level 4 at this point in time with no problems whatsoever, and hoping to see them being able to turn things around pretty nicely.
RSG is currently winning the gold lane for now. If you take a look, FMM is having a little bit trouble, not doing a very good time against BBKs. That's because of the emblems, right? We should be able to pull out the emblems very soon to provide you with a breakdown. But I just want to highlight that BabyCakes is going on with that sustainability kind of emblem. But the turtle has on both the two teams. Looking at it, Gear does have the ultimate ready, so is Bray as well. We'll be able to use the enhanced chain to kind of go all the way in. Speaking of it, it's already being used.
Immediately, of course, Adammir and Farsa, they have decided to switch themselves lane. Hold on a second, looking at Farsa.
Farsa going all the way in, but Diablo's all the way in the back line. Turtle has been stolen by Bray instead, and now it's Pandemonium for the side of Slate. RSG, first blood has been drawn.
Not just the first blood that they have managed to get. It is going to be the turtle that they have managed to credit for themselves. A little bit of turtle soup, may I say. In the meantime, it is going to be a slight little bit of action coming in right on top of 505. It did get hooked by the Offended, but it's not quite enough for Slate to bring him down.
RSG usually very hyper-aggressive in the early game. Just now, before we go into game number 1, we're already bringing out in the stats, right? RSG usually secure the first neutral objective. Slate was the one that took a little bit of a while. But take us through the emblems, Abstract.
Well, we are looking at both of the junglers going in for Demon Hunter. So both of these players, or rather both of these roles, they are able to contest with one another for all of the objectives in this game, unless level is going to be the differentiating factor. When it comes down to the EXP lanes, yes, it is definitely going to be a wet noodle fight. Both of them running onto the Avarices, and not to forget even more of the regeneration as well as speed boost, which both of these players are very much looking out for. While all across the map, we are looking at the gold laners, for example, Avarice as per normal that we see from the side of Claude, and Electro Flash from BabyCakes.
Oh, JPL gets stunned all the way up, trying to peel a little bit, but JPL, he hooks a little bit, but no one to follow up for the side of Slate. So rest assured, RSG is safe for now, but they're looking for a re-engage. Gear is in the area for now. Farsa hiding in the brush, waiting to pounce. The Feather Airstrike is not available just yet.
You can see that RSG is pretty much on the tail of Slate, moving right onto the shadows of Slate and just trying to creep in one step at a time. They want to create all of that opportunities in order to create more space for their team. But so far, we don't quite see that just yet. 7 seconds until the turtle spawns. JPL rushes himself right into the face of Bray. Here continues on. But unfortunately, that is going to be a very simple enhanced sword in order for Bray to get out of the way.
Yep, Turtle has started already. Bray will be the one. But Lolsie, he's already in the back line. Gears get kicked on the way out. Our Feather Airstrike will be in the respawn. Lolsie tried to kick Seilah instead. And Seilah gets taken off of the Turtle, the Feather Airstrike at the same time. But Lolsie, he turns it around. Will not be able to turn it around. FMM all the way in the back line will not be able to survive anymore. RSG takes the turtle for as well. But the members of Slate, they're focusing on the back line, trying to make sure that FMM will be avenged.
Quite a bit of death all across the board, you're gonna have to say, as we are starting to see some of these players getting a little bit too greedy, or rather getting too comfortable in the wrong places. But no matter, as most of these turrets are still up and running, they are still completely untouched just yet. All of these turrets, understandably, is going to make it or break it the game, because they got their standard, and of course their presence itself is going to mark a big presence against the enemies. You wouldn't want to open up the middle lane turret. If that's so, invasion into the jungle is going to be made super easy. If any of the side lane turrets is going to be taken down, the EXP laners will be freed. As long as they make a single push, they will be able to move themselves over to the rest of the objective, or even join in team fights.
Yeah, I'm trying to take a look. There's already a lane swap happening. Lolsie is already, but oh, it is going to be BabyCakes on the top side. Adammir, he's not ready.
A quick little buzz down. 3-man head on to that Uranus, especially when he is very tanky, and of course he does have quite a bit of sustainability. As long as you bring him down, and of course once you have more numbers advantage on top of him, he's gonna go down pretty darn easily. Seilah with a preemptive strike coming in for the feathered airstrike, ought to bring down the creeps pretty darn fast, but not the ballista. Definitely something that he would want to focus on, but he missed that out. As such, RSG takes 1 point in turret.
And not only just that, they're leading in the gold lead for now, taking 2 turtles and 1 turret. Even though the Slate has to forfeit the top side abstract, this is going to be a little bit dire for the side of Slate. RSG this time round looking on form.
Still tough for both teams. Nothing is set in stone just yet. They still understand that the skills will be tilted anytime. The damage coming in from BRAYYY as well as babycakes are just through the roof. Bringing down the turtle and of course getting themselves turtle soup is nothing but an easy pleasure for them.
Yeah, and not only just that, RSG, they're really ahead in this goal by Lolsie. Oh no, he got stuck instead.
No problem.
5 will respond in. Shunpo get on away. I believe that's also Flicker being used so that he could get on the way too.
Right. Beyblades after Beyblades, you wouldn't want to see that, but 5-5 goes straight onto the defensive, ensuring that Lolsie stays alive still. They need every single one of these players to be up, to be on their best form. Understandably, when it comes down to opening up the maps, 85 seconds until the Lord spawns. And Team Slate, as much as possible, they would want to play into a team fight. And that is what RSG wouldn't want to do, as you can pretty much tell. Esmeralda is constantly going to be on the other side of the map. And once more information such as numbers disadvantage coming up, RSG will take a fight.
Yeah, it's Slate right now trying to buy some time. RSG is not going to give them time as well. They're focusing on the bottom lane instead. BRAYYY is already on top of the turtle. It's going to be a knockup on 2-man. Slate, but Lolsie makes sure the members of Slate will not be able to tactically retreat. But Seilah is here for the feather airstrike to cover their retreat.
And a double insurance when it comes down to
Adammir.
the feather airstrike. Oh wait, hold on a second, not over!
Oh no, Adammir, he's actually popped the consecration, but Seilah, wonderful cover in terms of the retreat. It's like Normandy.
Top lane is pushed, bottom lane is pushed. RSG have got a great advantage when it comes down to the lane domination. Of course, wave managements are looking pretty darn good.
Oh my God,
Diablo could even put himself on top of Adammir, which he will successfully be able to do so.
RSG has finally got their mojo, and they're making sure that Slate has their arm's length in terms of their gold lead. RSG right here in the driver's seat once again. JPL will get knocked up gear. Knock up Lolsie in the air for now, but Slate running around trying to pick up the scraps. They don't have enough gold to sustain.
2 turrets taken down in the top side. They have free reign and free real estate all across the vertical side, or rather the north and the western region of the Sanctum Island. With that said, the Lord is understandably going to be a little bit more difficult for Slate to contest now, only if they do have visions of the map. In order for them to have that vision, Adammir would need to push himself a little bit further in and open up the brushes. But Slate, instead of trying to contest for the Lord, they've decided to push down the bottom lane instead.
Yeah, that's just pure damage control. But ladies and gentlemen, you're already 9 minutes in. Slate has only secured 1 turret. The Lord from the side of RSG has been secure. Rest assured, and not a lot of pushing power going on the way top. But Abstract going to the late game, what can Slate or RSG do?
Well, when it comes down to the late game, Slate gonna have to play total composition. They do have a good high ground. They have very good defensive capabilities as well. Seilah can burst down creep waves extremely fast. As such, losing the Lord over to RSG, especially the early Lord, is going to be no issues at all. The Feathered Airstrike ought to bring down all of these creep waves as well as the Lord pretty darn fast. And of course, having Uranus onto the opposite side of the lane from where the Lord is, no problem. Slate gave the Lord away on purpose in order for them to get a longer insurance into the later stages of the game by bringing down the first tier turret at the bottom.
But of course, you know, Abstract RSG has been starting to take away those free real estates that you mentioned. Slate right now focusing on the mid, they're forgoing the side lanes for now. This mid lane needs to stand online, but BRAYYY, oh no, he got dragged. But final fight, he comes in for the bag. FMM will need to get pushed right into the snapping jaws of RSG. Oh my goodness, he takes out Adammir as well. Gear will respond with the heavy dust spin at the same time, but Lolsie, he gets down a little bit low. But Diablo, oh no, this is for FMM. He's chasing off the FMM as Diablo swings around. The trip, there he kills, over to the side of RSG.
Well, all of the fight happened. The Lord has effectively made his way and made his mark in the northern side, bring down the inhibitor turret at the top side. Diablo moves his way down to the southern to pair himself up with the ballista, managing to bring out the explosion in order for the next push to be a more effective one. Out of all of that fight, Slate still managed to keep their first tier turret in the middle lane healthy, but at this point in time, they can't really do much here.
Yeah, but Abstract, do you trade the bottom lane that opens up your core for that mid to first outer middle tier turret? I think that's something that I know. I mean, Slate, I think this defense is a little bit questionable.
It's a little bit out of hand, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that they definitely want to gain control in the middle lane, but I think that there is a little bit too much priorities, in my opinion. JPL did manage to get a really good catch onto Bray, but Bray, he is very tanky after
look at
all.
that
He
items.
went for full tank items with the Curse Helm, Guardian Helm, as well as Athena Shield. So as much as possible, he wouldn't be just bursted down by Seilah effectively and too fast. The only one that can bring him down very nicely is going to be FMM through the entire duration of Blazing Duet. So Bray, he can stay alive for an entire fight. And RSG is still sticking to their MO of having at least 3% being sustainable or tanky. In this case, Diablo, Bray, and Lolsie.
And the best part is Firefly earlier just now, right, Abstract? You saw he sneaked in using the heavy spin that he stole from Gear to push Slate into a fight they are not ready at all. And now RSG gearing up for this Lord for now. This is not a baby Lord anymore. He has grown up. This is a Luminous Lord. Slate, they need to defend this.
I highly doubt that Slate will be able to defend this
I
at
don't
all.
think so too.
Yes, it's pretty much gone out of hand. We're looking at a 7,000 gold deficit from Slate, and they don't have much of a contest for this Lord. Yes, Retribution may do something, however, we're looking at a 3-level difference. The Retribution will go down. As such, Slate will need to bring Bray down. But as you have saw, I'm offended onto Bray to drag him within, and of course even behind the first tier defense turret, with 2 other person just riding all of the abilities on him, and yet he's still not dead. So what exactly makes you think that you can contest the Lord against a full team of RSG and bring down Bray at the same time, and bring down the Lord?
Yeah, this is going to be a tough question for Slate to crack. And speaking about that question is encroaching in. RSG right here, gearing up on 3 lanes for now. Trying to split pros, trying to sync this up this wave. Slate has 2 turrets for them to defend, but the Lord is already stepping in.
The middle lane will eventually move its way in. The Feather Airstrike used preemptively from Seilah, so it would not be used to snipe out the back lines. But in the meantime,
JPL, the hook, but the turret in the middle is already gone. The knockup coming out from RSG, a little bit too hard to handle. Slate, they're ready, push all the way in. RSG stampeding all across Slate's roster. 2-3 men left for the side of Slate, but that defense is not enough. RSG takes game number 2.
Game number 2 is indeed what we say and call a game of Jumanji. You know, you roll the dice and somehow you find yourself a stampede just crashing in through your home.
It's not what's that sound? What's the sound? It's a stampede!
It's a great throwback to the, what, to the 2000s?
No, I think it's 90s.
90s?
No,
90s?
Jumanji was in the early 2000s.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Sorry, I don't have much of a childhood right here. I haven't watched Jumanji yet.
It's
How dare
it's
you?
a great scary show at the same time.
It's a scary show.
Yeah, it's actually pretty scary to me.
But
Oh,
okay.
really?